the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the Monday podcast. What did you accidentally consume?
Oh, my
is part of
God.
today's show. So there was a...
It was never an accident.
I had a very funny story, but you also freak out a little bit. But one of the mums from the school was saying that her daughter had gone to a house party on the weekend and consumed something that every parent should be quite alarmed with.
All right.
And this happens quite regularly. You have the that unbelievable
Go on.
The seafood problem that you have.
Oh, seafood needed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what it is.
No, I will consume absolutely anything.
We had some unbelievable calls on this, on what people have accidentally consumed. You hear that in the podcast?
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
But let's do a bit of spotto over the weekend, Ryan James. This was massive. Kamala Harris. She snuck into Sydney. She's on her way to the Gold Coast, and you can see footage here from the Bathers Pavilion. She was down in Balmoral. Great spot to go to.
So she went to the real estate conference up on the Gold Coast. I mean, because when I think of real estate, you think of Kamala Harris.
Oh, just inspired. I know that I went out. You cough your way through it. I went out and I leased another 3 apartments after being inspired by Kamala Harris. Jason Yang will be there.
He would have been there for sure, Jason Yang.
Could you imagine?
I'm Jason Yang.
Hi, Kamala. I'm Jason Yang. Welcome to number 32 Pacific Drive.
That would have been... Do you know what? They should have got Jason Yang to interview Kamala Harris. Because I think John McGrath did, but that would have been amazing.
Wouldn't it be spectacular? Hi, everybody. Let's introduce the MC for the day.
I'm Jason Yang.
Or if he got Kamala Harris to be in one of his videos, just promoting a 2-bedroom unit in Marylands.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Of course, he's always there. Jason Yang, you're a beauty. Yes, there's 32 speakers presenting at this exhibition of real estate on the Goldie, and you can be there for your 2-day. Let's move on, though, to another celebrity that snuck into town. This was massive because there was a Lord party going on at Mary's Underground, just near Circular Quay there. Anyway, this is amazing audio because crowd's loving Lord, music's pumping. Then she snuck into the crowd. You can hear the moment they realise she's actually in the room. So the next thing you know, she's up on the decks.
What?
Playing her own music.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, everyone had a meltdown.
They would have thought it was a lookalike.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, she's in the crowd dancing with them at Mary's.
Amongst it. No one had any idea, and then she just came from the back of the room, made her way towards the decks.
So she's got a new album coming out in a month's time called Virgin. But, mate, Lord's first album, Pure Heroin, is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Huge.
I went back and listened to it the other day. It's just about her... You know, it's her about singing, about growing up in New Zealand and just in the suburbs. It is unbelievable. She is such a talent.
Yeah, that would have been an amazing night.
But did anyone know that she was coming to Australia?
No, I think that was the whole idea. It was all kept under wraps. Then they had a Lord party and she turned up.
What is it? Does she even live in New Zealand? It's only a 3-hour flight, isn't it? It's just a quick...
dropped in.
Let's just jump on a private jet and go to Mary's for the night.
It's very easy to do.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I was speaking to a mother from Huey's school on the weekend, desperate emergency stations on the weekend. Now, you know, our children are around the age now where they are starting to go to house parties, and I think you need to have, you know...
House music.
Conversations about alcohol and maybe some other stuff that's happening at these house parties as well. So she gets a phone call. She said, I've got a great relationship with my daughter. And we've spoken about this before. There's probably going to be alcohol there. These kids, we're talking 16, 17 before their legal age. But, you know, you've got to be honest about this stuff and talk about it. The main thing is trust. That if you do get into trouble or you make a bad decision, it's okay to ring mum or dad.
Yep.
And tell us what's going on. So she gets a phone call over the weekend, Chrissy, from her daughter freaking out, saying, Mum, I need you to come and get me. I don't feel good. I've got a rapid heart rate. I feel like I'm vomiting all the time. What have you taken? What have you done? Have you had too much to drink? I've only had a couple of drinks, she said. But she said, everyone's at school, Mum. Everyone's on the Zins. On the Zins. So Zins?
Zins for your sins.
So Zins are the nicotine pouches that you actually...
Oh, yes.
Yes, so apparently they're back in now. So the vapes are sort of gone and the Zins are in. So you put them between your gums and your lips and you're supposed to spit it. It's like a tobacco couch.
It's like,
Pouch,
old school...
Baseball.
Old school chewing backy.
Yeah.
So she said... Well, okay, so Mum's... She said, I didn't even know what Zins were, so I'm frantically Googling what they are. And she said, okay, they're nicotine pouches. So what are you just... Have you got it in your mouth, spit it out? And she said, no, Mum, I've swallowed 3 of them.
Oh, God.
She didn't know what to do with them.
And hang on.
So she had one.
So you meant to rub it into your gums?
Yeah. You don't consume them. 13, 24, 10. What have you accidentally consumed before? But this basically, I've done some research myself. So if you swallow a Zin nicotine pouch, it's nausea, upset stomach, dizziness, rapid heartbeat. You could even get nicotine poisoning. It's basically a massive head spin.
Because I was trying to work out how much nicotine is in one of the patches, in one Zin.
I don't know, but you're not supposed to. I mean,
oh my God.
So she was given one thinking, these are fine.
Yeah, slow
Everyone's
release.
having them at school, but they're all...
What do they look like? Do they look like those little silicone bags that you get in
Chrissy,
shoes?
yes.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
and what? So you keep it and you stick it in your gum and then the nicotine slowly releases into the system.
Yeah, and I think then you just spit out whatever you have in your mouth. It's like the baseball-ers. You see the baseball-ers do it with those
Spit
nicotine.
the whole time.
The tobacco
I would
pouches.
absolutely swallow it because I can't. You're not supposed to swallow chewing gum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That'd be you.
My mouth just like involuntary down it goes. And I'm going to my mouth. You're not allowed to swallow. Don't.
Gone.
It's
Yeah, but that
gone.
makes- that-
I just.
Yeah.
Swanee, when Lisa had Ted and she had a C-section, so she was on these painkillers, which I didn't realise when I went to get a couple of painkillers because I had a headache. I grabbed a couple of those by accident, and they had
Tramadol.
no, I don't know what they were. They had
stuff of
they
my
had
life.
30 milligrams of codeine in them. So
That's a
baby.
lot.
yeah, I took 2 and I was sitting on the couch and it hit me. And I thought, I don't know whether this is the best feeling in the world or I'm about to vomit.
Yeah.
But either way, I can't move. Someone get me off this thing. I'm ready for bed.
You looked up and you said, "Could I have $1, mate?"
You must be on them this morning because you haven't moved it.
Give me something here, please.
Luke's giving us a call from Dural. How old are you, Luke?
I am 9 years old.
Oh, Luke, okay.
What did you accidentally consume, Luke?
A $2 coin when I was 3.
Oh, no. Did it come out the other end, Luke?
No, they had to operate it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh no!
Did you think there was chocolate on the inside of it, Luke? Did you?
No.
So
No,
where
you
did
just-
it got lodged
Do
in your
you
stomach?
have any memories of your mum fossicking around in your poo poo?
Nope.
So they had to operate and
That's
get it
probably
out of
good.
your bowel, did they, Luke?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
That's a cool story.
Did you get to keep the $2 though, Luke, when they got
Yeah.
it out?
Yep.
$2 is
I've still got
$2.
it.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, you've got to keep that. You would have cleaned it though, Luke, wouldn't you?
No.
Oh, he's not sure.
Ready to eat again.
Not sure.
Let's go to Ashley in Cherrybrook. What happened to your son, Ash?
Oh, guys, terrible. 72 hours, no sleep, and I had all his medication on the bench with the humidifier that had been running over that 72 hours, and he was due for some Zyrtec, but instead of Zyrtec, I gave him the Vapor Stream.
You gave him what?
So the Vapor Stream, which you put into a humidifier, and
So
Oh,
that's
like
you
eucalyptus stuff.
Chemical.
Vapor up the eucalyptus.
and it's
Spat it out immediately, so I don't know if he consumed anything, but it wasn't until I smelt it after he had spat it out that I realised what it was.
Oh, no. Ash, you can only do your best, can't you?
that's
Horrible.
that is concentrated eucalyptus, isn't it? It's like
It's really intense.
It's the Red Bull of eucalyptus.
Oh, my God.
That stuff.
I
Ash
mean, when you're tired, you make those mistakes. And I feel like there's somebody who made a beef Wellington with mushrooms that probably could have used that.
I haven't heard that. I have not heard that. It's just there's a warning on finding your own mushrooms.
Abby in Penrith, what happened, Abs?
I accidentally consumed a boric acid tablet, which is supposed to be put up your hoo-ha for balancing your pH levels out. And I didn't know that, and accidentally swallowed it.
Okay, but the pH levels in your mouth were perfect, yeah? And your stomach?
Did it do anything, Abby, to you?
Well, I took it at night because you're supposed to sleep with it in.
Right.
I didn't know that. So I woke up and I felt like really... You know when you get like a cough and it's really phlegmy? That's the only thing that I really got. So, yeah.
Okay.
You're lucky.
Back to the chemist.
Zara in Kashula, what did you eat, Zara?
So when I was younger, my mum used to love giving me sultanas, and I'd just throw them all around the house and then pick them up as I go and eat them. On a couple of occasions, it wasn't actually sultanas, it was actually cockroaches.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're a little chewier. They're a little crunchier, aren't they, Zara?
It was just the movement in my mouth. I was like, what is going on?
And still alive. Oh,
Yeah,
my
imagine.
God.
Oh, Zara.
You look at cockroaches; they are one of the dirtiest insects going around.
Yeah.
They're the pigeons of the bird world, aren't they?
They're revolting.
Thanks, Zara. D in Bondi. What did you accidentally eat, D?
Oh, God. I ate my mum's contraception pill.
Oh, okay.
I think she dropped it,
Right.
and then I ate it, but I was a child.
How did that
freaked
go?
out. Yeah, freaked out, called the ambulance, but it was all good.
Okay. D, you're not making those mistakes as an adult, eh? You've moved on. You
God,
understand
no.
which tablets to take?
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, that is brilliant. Joe in Currans Hill. This happened at school. What happened, Joe?
So I was in my textile class in high school, and I was tacking up something and had the pin sitting in my mouth and breathed in a pin, and it got lodged in my throat.
What, like a thumbtack?
Yeah, no. So, like, you know the pins that have the little bauble on the end that you do that you'd hem stuff with? Yes. And so I just ran out of the class, freaked out, went to the infirmary. They didn't want to touch it. My mum had to come and get me, and then on the way to the hospital, I ended up swallowing it. And then I had to have scans to follow it to make sure that it wasn't going to get stuck in anything. And I actually, every time I went to the toilet, I had to go through my poo to find it, and my family kept saying to me, "What if it comes out sideways in your poo?" And I was freaking out.
God.
But I found it. I found the pin.
Oh, it did come out, did it?
It did. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the old spiky poo.
Do you say, you know, when you find something that was very, very difficult, do you say it's like finding a needle in a poo stack?
Actually, I was listening, Chrissie, about you swallowing your chewing gum, and my kids say, "Oh, don't swallow chewing gum; it gets stuck in your tummy." And I was like, "No, it doesn't, because I've actually, seen it come out in your poo." So,
Hey, Joe, while we've got you on the line, have a listen to what happened to Maddie. Maddie, can you share your story?
Yes, I accidentally swallowed a small piece of wire, and it didn't pass. It did get lodged in my small intestine, and I had this excruciating pain. Had to have all these scans, and I had to be operated on to remove it.
To get it out. And where did it come from?
A pizza oven brush, like
so
a
the brush,
bristle.
and then the bristle had got into
the dough,
pizza.
and I'd just eaten the pizza because pizza's delicious.
Oh, my God.
It's
And
so
you had an
lucky
operation.
they found that, because that would have been, like you said, a needle in the haystack. To see that, it would have been so tiny, Maddie.
Very lucky when they opened me up, it was there straight away. Otherwise, they could have had to do like a whole bowel resection, which sounds pretty scary.
And nothing worse than going through your poo on a daily basis and not finding anything. You know what I mean? Well, if there's no gold in the nugget, then you're really disappointed by that.
What was the pizza that you were eating? What flavour was it?
Oh, probably like salami and eggplant.
That's really interesting.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Guys, let's talk about what's been going on. I want to introduce Josh Hanrahan, the Daily Telegraph crime reporter. Josh, welcome, buddy.
Hey, Whip, how you going? Good,
Josh. I want to set this up by saying we are aware with limited details of the shooting that took place of a mistaken identity situation last week, and then we cut to this morning, page 5, your article on 2 men that were ambushed and shot over the weekend.
Yeah, the location of last night's shooting, for anyone who knows it, is kind of what makes it so shocking. Church Street in Parramatta is one of the busiest roads in Sydney, especially at 5 o'clock on a Sunday. We know what traffic's like at that time. And I was actually, just as I woke up to have this chat with you guys, I just saw a video I'd been sent overnight which shows this car kind of in which these men were shot fleeing desperately, crossing onto the wrong side of the road, trying to get away from whoever was shooting at them.
Right, so they got out of the car, did they, Josh?
No, they were driving down one side of Church Street and then almost crossed the median strip to quickly get onto the other side to try and flee. But yeah, those two...
Josh, bit of a bad line. Take a step to the left. Have we got you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, Joshy. Just take a step to the left, Josh. What about, Josh, last week, everyone was horrified by John Versace, the mistaken, supposedly mistaken identity. This guy worked for his father's plumbing business. He had one traffic fine his whole life. Have we got more details that this was definitely a mistaken identity, Josh?
Yeah, that's definitely what police believe. They've got nothing that links this man to any kind of criminal gang, which is what we've seen so frequently in the last few years, is these individuals who've been attacked have been high-profile organised crime figures. That's definitely not the case here. You've got an absolutely shattered family who's dealing with the loss of their innocent son.
God. Yeah, that is extraordinary, isn't it?
It's great. Now, Josh, is it now moving up from the drug wars? Is this the tobacco wars ramping up even more, Josh? Are they looking for territory? Is this why this has been happening so much recently?
No, I wouldn't say that at this point. There's been a few tobacco incidents in Sydney, but it's definitely not at the in the situation that we saw in Melbourne, where pretty much for the past 18 months in Melbourne they have been all about tobacco. Yep. Sydney still has quite an appetite for illicit drugs. Well, so that's definitely still something to fight over if you're in the underworld.
Right, so Josh, just to paint a picture, you've got 60 tobacco stores, these cheap tobacco stores, for every McDonald's in New South Wales. In Nowra, the small country town of Nowra, you have 13 tobacco outlets. So with the shooting and what we're looking at with the bikie wars and the families that war, that's still a hard drug battle, is it?
Last week.
Oh, Josh, take another step or drift into another room.
Sorry, mate.
No good.
You're cutting out a little bit.
Try again, Josh.
The scary thing is here for anyone is that unfortunately there's innocent people that are getting involved with this. And Josh, can you tell us, not just John Versace last week, but how many people have been mixed up in these assassinations and unfortunately lost lives or been injured badly and had nothing to do with the war that was going on?
I think we're...
Josh, we're going to have to let you go, buddy. We're struggling. We're trying to tick it off. Page 5 of the paper this morning. Josh, we thank you, mate. Unfortunately, the reception's no good. It's 2025. You can't make a phone call. But AI will do everything else. You can read all about it in the Daily Telegraph this morning. Josh, thank you for coming on.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Chrissy's clickbait.
Are you a full strength Coke Zizz, or DC guy?
Depends what I need it for.
The introduction of Coke Zizz to produce it, there's got to be something wrong, because when they say that there's zero sugar in there, but it tastes exactly like the original.
Well, it's just not sugar as you know it. It's just a supplement.
It is. What is
Zins.
it? But it's the same. It's the same. Diet Coke has a different taste to it. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry.
I'm a bit hungover. I'll go for the full strength.
Oh,
and I'm not afraid of it. I was wandering the streets the other day aimlessly and I saw one of the new thin cans and it was screaming at me. Smashed it and I loved it, followed by a couple of dumplings. Anyway.
A couple.
Yep.
Bless.
A couple of dumplings.
48 and not a couple.
Whoever in the history of the world has had a couple of dumplings?
You're dead right. Half a dozen. Okay, I had a dozen.
It's like saying you're going to have a couple of quiet ones down at the pub.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, NRL star Brian To'o. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, great player.
Has revealed he drank 600 cans of Coke Zero. He's a Ziz man through and through in 1 month.
600 cans.
I saw this the other day, Swanee. Before a game, right, on a Saturday, he has 2 burgers, chips, and a few cans of Coke Zero. That's before a game.
Amen for that.
Well, Jerome,
I love the irony of like all the burgers and fries and then a Coke Ziz.
Swanee, the numbers.
Cut down the sugar.
The numbers look more like 21 a day.
It's 21 cans, something like that, a day.
A day.
Well,
that is impressive.
Jerome, we played the audio recently at his wedding. His best man was Jerome Luai, and Jerome Luai said I had to room with him on a tour once, it was the worst smell I've ever had in my life, Swanee.
That is very interesting.
Yes, I mean, he consumes... I mean, they burn so many calories, those guys, so they're burning it off very quickly, but then...
a lot of gas in it.
The emissions that come from the other end are toxic.
Back in the bad old days when you couldn't get Coke Ziz, when it was just DC, just Diet Coke.
Loved it.
A girl I went to school with, Kath Cobser, she would drink it and drink it and drink it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she wasn't drinking it. We would have been about 17 or something. And I said, hey, what's going on? No more Diet Coke for you. She goes, yeah, look, I read that it can shatter your anus.
You're drinking it through your mouth, aren't you?
I said, I beg yours, Kath Cobson. She said, yeah, I don't want it to shatter, so I'm on the waters.
Oh, no, the other...
Okay.
The other video is the one where you put the coin into a glass of it, don't you? And it comes out all nice and clean. Yeah.
It comes out nice and clean. So fresh, so clean. Are you fans of James Bond? I am.
Love it. We'll set the appointment and make sure it's on the big screen and I'm in a comfy chair.
Have you got a rumour for us, have you? Because we're all wondering who is going to be the next. I mean, Daniel Craig would have to be regarded as one of the best Bonds of all time.
I think the best. I just think, how are we going to do better than Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
There's been lots of possibilities thrown around.
Jonah Hill?
The latest one is a Jonah Hill.
James Corden?
James Corden as James Bond.
The tricky thing about James Corden is he looks like such a lovely guy, and I think that he is not.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Never met him.
Anyway, lots of names thrown around. The latest is an actor called Theo James.
Right.
No,
you might be thinking, who the hell is that? Time Traveller's wife from a couple of years ago?
He was in The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman.
Correct.
He's a nobody, unfortunately. And I know you could make somebody's career by giving them the Bond role, but we at least have to know who they are, Swanee, don't we?
We didn't know Daniel Craig when we met him.
No. I've always thought...
No, we did. He'd done a few movies before Bond.
I always thought Toadie from Neighbours would make a great James Bond.
The girl with the dragon's tattoo. Go and see the girl with the dragon's tattoo and the Hornet's Nest. He is unbelievable in those movies. Craig.
Can I tell you, he was also in White Lotus where he had to wear a prosthetic.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
He put that photo back up again so that we can all look at him.
Yeah. He's gorgeous.
You are looking at the most beautiful man I've ever seen.
That guy.
Seriously?
That to me is like an AI version
of perfection.
Yes.
So what's the features that stand out the most for you with this guy?
I love the eyebrow. I love the skin colour. I love there's a bit of Greek in there.
Do you know, Swanee, I thought he looked a bit Chris Martin from Coldplay. Now, I thought he looked
nothing like Chris Martin.
I didn't
You're making me angry.
No, I didn't think he'd be your type because to me, he looks like a little man. Now, I thought you would have gone for sort of the more manly man, beast of a man.
Okay, so that is interesting because, yes, physically, that is what I like. I mean, I like anything, and also I don't like anything. But to look at that man's face
gorgeous
is perfect to me. That doesn't mean that I necessarily make the leap to wanting to go to a Portaloo with him.
No, you wouldn't do that.
No, but I like to look at that. You know, much like a nice view or a nice piece of furniture or a good Dulux paint colour.
Swanee, I was on a holiday with a girlfriend once and we walked past one of those, like a Dolce & Gabbana sign, and there was a model, a guy, you might remember it, I think his name's David, and he was in some white Speedos on a boat.
David.
And we stopped and she looked.
Yes,
you
Dave.
remember that one? You know, Dave?
You may remember him. I think his name's David.
We stopped and she said, oh my God, that is everything. And I was like, I look nothing like that guy. We're on holiday together. And you think that is everything? There's no way I could compete with David.
Well, you went straight out and bought a white G-string.
Yes, I did. And that didn't
hired
help
a yacht and said, how do you like me now?
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
A popular Australian influencer claims that he's $6.2 million out of pocket after falling victim to a dodgy Bali scam.
What? Ripped off in Bali?
No way.
Did he accept one of those little cards that the guys on scooters try and force into your hands?
Well, I think he thought
Remember those?
I think he's been sucked in. He's bought something. He thought he bought into Potato Head or something, and he's been stitched up, Swanee. So, to give you a bit of an idea about this bloke, his name's Julian Petralis. Okay, he's 32 years of age. Would you like to know what a day in the life of Julian is as an influencer, guys?
I woke up not knowing that this is exactly the information that I require.
Here we go.
Okay, have a listen to this.
Day in the life as a millionaire investor. I just landed in Shanghai and I'm currently staying in the presidential suite of the Edition Hotel. I always start the day with some light stretching before heading over to grab a coffee, which I always have delivered at the same time each morning. Once I've had my caffeine buzz, I then head to the shower, get changed and put on some cologne. I want to wear a nice watch for today, so I head to the safe and enter my secret PIN code. Tough choice, but I think I'll go with the Patek Philippe. I then begin the day by hopping on calls with New York, London and Dubai before heading to my laptop to check my portfolio. I'm up 481,000 today, though I'm usually up or down $1 million, so today was a slow one.
He's not legitimate. He's taking the piss.
That is fair dinkum.
No, it's not.
And
no, it's not.
I couldn't be happier that someone has been in a dodgy Bali scam more than Julian Petralis. He's bought this land, and, you know, anyone who's been to an Asian country, if you buy land over there, this is the thing, you've basically got to be there yourself, don't you, Swanee? Because the locals, if you're not there and using it, the locals will just move in and use it themselves.
Yeah.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Absolutely, with the full support of everybody else in the suburb.
Do you know what fascinates me about people that are prepared to share what they're mourning or what they would like to portray is probably more accurate in terms of what their mourning looks like? One, I find it odd that you refer to yourself as sort of a life in a millionaire, but what you're suggesting is that you're giving us the chance to look through the window and observe what legends do in the hope of inspiring. You think that what your mourning will do is revealing the secrets to how you could possibly be that person. Like we want to be you. I think that's where they misread it.
The foundation mistake is that we care.
Yes, correct.
But it's more of an American culture, isn't it? I mean, over there, these people are lauded. And this is why we talk about tall poppy here in Australia. And I know that we can go too far sometimes, but I do love that we're a country that being humble is the way to go about it.
There's a fine line, isn't there? Because in Australia, you're right, I think it's the biggest flaw that this country has in terms of its population, community and culture is the shutting down of anybody attempting to do something different. That tall poppy is terrible.
I think, look, absolutely that is part of our culture, but also this guy's a tool.
Yeah, coming back to the basics.
Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody asked you about what you do, and there's something not classy about that. And I don't think that's tall poppy.
No, that's
not.
not.
The fact that listening to that guy makes me want to stab my ears. That's not a tall poppy thing. That's just like, oh, come on. Be a bit classier.
I agree. Like, I mean, who is your audience? He has 400,000 followers on Instagram, right? So he puts this up, and obviously they are people that have ambitions and they want to be this guy. But then I'm just like, the everyday person there's no relatability to this at all. Like, who
What, you don't go to your safe in the morning and decide what watch you're going to wear?
No one likes to show off. You know, no one likes a bloody show.
Well, anyway, he bought a 1.1 hectare plot of land in Canggu, and so he thought he's hit the jackpot here. It's near the beach, Swanee. It's amazing.
Great.
But then the authorities got involved and said, I see that you've been spruiking on your social media that you've bought this land. They cancelled his visa and now they're asking him for all this money.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
But you can buy it back, but it'll cost you $7 million.
And, you don't want to mess with the authorities in Bali, that's for sure.
And they, it'll cost you $7 million and a stint in Korobakan.
Yes.
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi, boo.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Getting it on outside of appropriate places where you might suggest traditionally it has been the boudoir.
The what?
The boudoir bedroom. I was crossing, I was merging the words.
Yeah.
A word merger.
Boudoir.
That's a little bit of English merged with some French. A culture vulture. Yes.
That waterbed, Swanee, you weren't part of the waterbed break. For some reason on Facebook Marketplace last week, but an octagonal waterbed popped up on my feed and I went, oh my God, that oozes sex.
Interestingly, I haven't been part of the waterbed break, but I have been part of the IKEA sofa break. Bang!
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
You saucy minx. Did you really on an IKEA couch?
She'll do it. Yeah. It was still in the flat pack. It hadn't been built yet.
It was brand new.
It was in store.
It was on a hard rubbish collection. What was I going to do?
Well, what was even more awkward was when you used the toilet afterwards on display.
The worst thing about being busted in IKEA is that you then have to walk 2 kilometres, do the walk of shame for 2 kilometres to get out of there.
Before you buy your tea candles.
And interestingly, when I did use the toilet afterwards, you wouldn't believe I found 3 zins in there.
Are you kidding me? That can happen, as long as there wasn't a needle in your poo.
Extraordinary.
This is interesting because I think the only reason you would do this is if you were completely intoxicated. So this is at a fair in the UK and there's a couple there. They're having a great time, probably a few champagnes, and then they've decided, I don't know whose idea it was, to head to the Portaloo for a little bit of how's it going.
Yuck.
Oh,
now, what's happened here is when this guy's mates realise he's gone with a lady into the Portaloo, what's the one thing you do? Rock it till it falls over. Of course you would.
No, you don't.
You push it over. So what you see in this clip is somebody else coming over once it's fallen and he helps, lifts up the door. The man stumbles out while the woman is still inside. This guy is covered in
Oh, that is horrible.
Have a listen to this. He's now starting to come out.
Oh my God. I didn't touch it. I got a video and it wasn't me.
If you suggest going into a Portaloo to get it on is the right thing to do, you deserve to be pushed over.
Nothing would get me out of the mood quicker than if someone said, hey, I know a place where we can go.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I can smell it from here.
I'll meet you. I'll meet you in the fourth one from the right.
Yeah, that's
and
hot.
I promise I'll use my foot to pump the water out. As a special.
Can you promise me that 20 people have been there beforehand in the past hour?
That is disgusting. What about the floors in a Portaloo when they were on the floor?
So gross. 13 24 10. What went wrong in the Portaloo?
Everything.
I'd love to know what went wrong.
Yeah, my decision to enter.
It's
And the
chief
banging
among
of
the reasons I
Yeah.
would never. I can't do those big festivals
Yeah.
that everyone finds really fun because
Portaloos.
A, where do you park?
Yeah.
And B,
Where do you park?
I am going to have to go to the toilet at some stage.
Do you know what you're
And I
saying
just
too?
can't go.
It's like coming up in August, we've got the City to Surf, and the toilet stops on the City to Surf. You know everybody's just started, they're sort of 6Ks in and their body starts to turn over, and they're going in there just to release some absolute animals. And then the lineup, lineup to go in afterwards, you just think, man, you're better off finding a tree in the front of someone's house.
No, mate, that's not allowed. That's not.
Can
The beautiful folk in the Double Bay area, they don't like that.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Happy birthday to my wife.
Happy birthday,
happy
Lisa.
birthday, Lisa.
Now, on the City to Surf last year.
Segue from Portaloos into that? That's
Just
interesting.
Wait for this.
Well, no, she's probably wondering why there's a Portaloo just been delivered to your house.
There is one there. Anyway,
Gift wrapped
City
ribbon.
to Surf last year, she had the Portaloo fear that you have, Swanee.
Oh.
And we were heading up Heartbreak Hill. I won't give you the number of the house, but I do know what it was. She ran in and hid under a tree in the front of someone else's house on New South Head Road.
Good effort.
And squatted in the bushes. For a wee, mind you. For a wee.
That's fair.
Liam in
I don't
Alexandria.
think I don't think it should be against the law to have a wee in the street.
I agree. Liam in Alexandria, what happened to you in the Portaloo?
Oh, yeah, I had the upset stomach of a festival.
Oh,
and,
no.
And at that present time, at about 8 a.m., as I wanted to go to bed, they decided to come around and clean the Portaloos. However, they couldn't get into my Portaloo because I was there. So they gave me a free shower at the same time.
What do you mean?
So they put a hose in there to clean it out, Liam, and you were in there?
Yeah, basically they tried getting in and they were shouting to get me out. And obviously I was in no current state. As you can imagine, no fit state. So yeah, they were shouting at me to get out. They cleaned all the other Portaloos, and because they couldn't get in, obviously they've got like the filters on the side. So they just shoved water in there and absolutely doused me.
Okay, just confirming, you did say this was 8 a.m, didn't you, Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ugly.
Liam, at any point in this ordeal, did you go, geez, I could fancy a bit?
If I could get a girl in here right now, I'd be on fire.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.